Hey, what is going on, folks? We got ourselves some breaking news that completely came out of left field. So apparently, a search warrant has been executed in Tupac Shakur's homicide case, according to the Las Vegas police. So the Las Vegas police just randomly out of nowhere executed a search warrant on somebody's home who they believe was involved in the murder of Tupac Shakur. Keep in mind, folks, it's been more than 25 years. Tupac was murdered in 1996 when I was 2 years old. I am now 28 years old. I almost said 26. I am now 28 years old. I was 2 years old when Tupac got murdered. Let's go ahead and read the story. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this, I know we mostly talk about politics on this channel, but Tupac is actually one of my favorite rappers. He was a huge influential figure in my childhood, even though he had already passed by the time I even discovered who he was. His music was still amazing to me. You know, some of my favorite songs, Ambitious as a Rider, So Many Tears, Shorty Wanna Be a Thug, Lil Homies, All About You. I mean, he's got a lot of bangers. Heaven Ain't Hard to Find with Danny Boy. I love Tupac's music. So this story hits home for me. So I'll just go ahead and read the article. I can't put it up on the screen because I'm out of town. I'm on vacation. So sorry. Las Vegas police served a search warrant this week in connection to the more than a quarter century old unsolved slaying of rap icon Tupac Shakur. Authorities said the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police issued a statement confirming that a search warrant was served in Henderson, Nevada on Monday as part of the ongoing Tupac Shakur investigation. And that's literally all they said. Literally, that's it. Like that's literally all we got. The police department didn't tell us anything. They didn't say if they opened up the case, they're investigating it again. They literally just came out and said, "Oh, well, we randomly issued a search warrant and searched this house, and that's all we're going to tell you guys at this time." It's like, what? Now, here's my theory on this, right? And let me make it clear. Obviously, I wasn't there, but I think part of the reason why they might be starting to open the door to checking this case out again is because a guy by the name of Keefe D, who it's confirmed was in the car the day of the murder of Tupac. He was one of the people in the car of whoever shot him. I don't know who did it. They say it's Orlando Anderson, but who really knows? There was like 3 or 4 people in the car. They say that Baby Lane, aka Orlando Anderson, shot Tupac, but we really don't know. That's the God honest truth. Keefe D has been doing crazy interviews on Vlad TV and Cam Capone News. I think he did an interview on there, and this other one called Art of Dialogue, and he's just been everywhere. And so, you know, if you do enough interviews and you open your mouth enough, and remember, this is still a high-profile case. Folks, make no mistake about it, Tupac is still very relevant. He may not be as popular as like a Drake or a Lil Baby or Young Thug, you know, whatever the popular rappers are today. But Tupac is still extremely popular, and he still has a die-hard fan base that are either between the ages of, I'd say there's a lot of people my age that are still Tupac fans. I'd say my age and up. So most of the people that are Tupac fans now are between the ages of 29 to like 50. You see what I'm saying? And those people are still alive, and they're not like 80 years old. You know what I mean? Like, they still care about everything that's going on. So it's just so interesting. There's a lot of moving parts here, you know? I follow the Tupac case closely. The way that I understand it, there is a former retired police detective named Greg Kading. He's the one who's been credited with having solved the murder of Tupac Shakur. He basically did this like huge investigation. He wrote a book on it called Murder Rap, which I think became a documentary. Basically, he ended up saying that a guy named Orlando Anderson, who was the guy who got beat up in I believe it was the MGM Hotel in Las Vegas. There was a video. There's actually camera footage of this. And Suge Knight actually went to jail for this. But basically, Suge Knight, all the other homeboys with Death Row and Tupac Shakur were kicking and beating up Orlando Anderson. They messed him up real bad. According to the story from Greg Kading, Orlando Anderson got upset. He went back, got some guns, got a few people in the car, including his uncle, who happens to be Keefe D, came back to the scene and shot up Tupac and killed him. Now, Suge Knight was in the car when they did the shooting. So Suge Knight did get hit. A lot of people think that he never got hit. That's not true. Suge Knight got grazed in the head and his head was bleeding, but Suge Knight did not get shot fatally. So Suge Knight is still alive to this day. Suge Knight is actually sitting in prison right now, and he's got a pretty lengthy prison sentence because he basically hit some guy with a car. I can't remember that guy's name. But anyway, That's basically the story. So yeah, like I said, there's a lot of moving parts here. I have no idea what's going on, what the outcome could be. I mean, at this point, the only way that I think it would mean anything, in my opinion, in terms of this investigation, is if they discovered something new. If all they do is they come out and say, oh, basically everything Greg Kading said was true, Orlando Anderson killed Tupac and blah, 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 blah. To me, it's just like, okay. I mean, don't get me wrong. The case should be solved. Do not get me wrong. Out of respect for the family, out of respect for the fans, they should officially solve the case. Do not get me wrong. But what will be interesting to me is, what if they did a thorough investigation and they found out that it was actually Keefe D that shot Tupac? What if that happened? That would be interesting. Because remember, at the end of the day, nobody really knows what happened. Like, people can say what they want, but, they could connect the dots and whatever, but you really don't know who shot Tupac in that car. It could have been Keefe D. It could have been Orlando Anderson. It could have been somebody else, because Keefe D wasn't the driver. We know the driver didn't shoot him. It makes sense that the driver didn't shoot, but besides that, we have no idea who it could have been. So I just find this story very, very interesting, and it is breaking news. I'm seeing a bunch of different newspapers cover it because, like I told you guys, Tupac is still popular even to this day, and Biggie Smalls for that matter. Rest in peace to Biggie Smalls and Notorious B.I.G. Both of them to this day are still extremely popular. Like, those are just two guys in music whose legacies are probably going to live on for the next 1,000 years. Like, they're going to be like Dr. Martin Luther King in a civil rights movement. Like, there are some people out there who just did so many great things and made such a huge contribution to the world that they still have diehard fan bases. So that's what you got. So anyway, I just wanted to give a little bit of my thoughts on this whole Tupac thing. I think it's very, very interesting. I think this would not have been triggered or would not have happened if it weren't for Keefe D doing all those interviews. But again, I don't know. Who knows? We'll see what happens when more information comes out. And as we get more information, I will cover it, because Tupac is indeed one of my favorite rappers ever. So yeah. Anyway, there you guys have it. That'll go ahead and conclude today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.